Howdy, Immortalium here, and welcome to an unboxing video of a series that I would argue is very near and dear to my heart for numerous reasons. That being, I'm going to unbox the Ultimate Edition of Gundam Seed. Now, for those of you who are interested in just seeing the unboxing, you can skip ahead, but I thought just before I unbox this, I might just share my thoughts on the Gundam Seed series. So I think it's important to state that Gundam Seed was actually the first Gundam media that I ever experienced. I remember buying the DVDs from, I don't know if you guys remember this company, Bees Entertainment. They used to be a distributor predominantly of Bandai series over in the UK and Ireland. And I can remember hearing a lot of really positive things about the Gundam franchise, and I wanted to start somewhere. And one of the most popular series was Gundam Seed, so I decided to pick it up and watch it. And I enjoyed it a lot, and it ended up being my entryway into the Gundam franchise, of which I am a big fan now. I've seen numerous series of Gundam. However, I do acknowledge that I have seen a lot of criticism of Gundam Seed online, and I can understand in particular one of the more common criticisms, that being that it isn't a particularly original Gundam series. If you compare this series to many of the other alternate universe series of Gundam, it is very by the numbers in the way that the story progresses, in the way that it is structured. Many people actually say that it is a semi-remake of the original Gundam series, which I can kind of see. Of course, this being my first Gundam series, I didn't really have that problem when I first watched it. I do wonder these days, though, if I had watched this series today after having seen so much other Gundam series, would I like it as much? Or would I join everyone else in decrying its lack of originality? I don't know. But all I can say is that for being the Gundam series that I started off with, for being the entryway into the Gundam franchise, I have to say that the Gundam Seed series is very near and dear to my heart. And it's also important to say how popular this series was in Japan. I don't think it is an understatement to say that it was an unbelievably popular series. It did incredibly well in the ratings. It sold insanely well in terms of both merchandising and DVD sales. And it reached a level of popularity that had not been seen in decades, literally, for the Gundam franchise. One of the more interesting references to that, I remember, is a series called My Girlfriend's a Geek. It's a light novel series, and within the novels, the main character admits that the only anime series that he's ever watched all the way through is Gundam Seed. He watched a bit of Gundam Seed Destiny, which was the sequel to Gundam Seed. So that should give a bit of an indicator of how popular it was. Even people who didn't watch anime typically watched Gundam Seed. So having said all that, I think we should move ahead to the unboxing. So there's quite a bit to crack through here. So first off, you'll notice that this is quite a big box set. As I mentioned before, this is the Ultimate Edition. I believe it does say, yeah, right over here on the box. So there's quite a bit to unpack here, and I'll try my best to go through it as well as I can. So first off, let's start off by opening this. Ooh. So as we can see, Kira Yamato is on the front, while Athrun Zala, the kind of other main character in the series, is on the back. Which is quite a nice touch. Admittedly, I do struggle a bit with the fact that Kira Yamato is portrayed as green on this side, but what can you do? I think that might be when he's going into seed form. Anyway, so if we start by unboxing this, as you can see, we have two boxes here, which have some pretty nice artwork related to the actual Gundams themselves. However, what is particularly interesting is the way that this series was released. So I'll go through it in just a bit. So first off, let's start off with these releases, which I'm going to say, first of all say my preference with the white borders is to swap it around. Luckily, all of the Gundam releases that I've seen so far allow you to kind of expand this picture outwards to make up the entire thing. In fact, actually, this looks a little loose. I'll have to correct that myself. But this, as you can see, contains the first 24 episodes of the HD remaster. Now, to explain the HD remaster, I have to explain how Gundam Seed was released. So Gundam Seed was released in the early 2000s, and this was from a time when anime was beginning to move over into the digital format, but they were still airing in standard definition. And so when it came time to re-release these series, on Blu-ray in high definition. A lot of them didn't look that good. A lot of them looked kind of fuzzy or muted. And Gundam Seed being such a popular series, Bandai and Sunrise weren't happy with the way it was going to be presented. So they ended up actually going through the entire series and redoing the animation for a HD format. So it looks a lot cleaner, it looks a lot sleeker, it's presented in widescreen, etc, etc. They also took out the 2 clip show episodes, which is pretty good. That's why there's 24 episodes in this box and another 24 episodes in this box. It's 48 episodes rather than 50 episodes. That is quite a fascinating aspect of the Gundam re-release. In addition, you get these art cards, which I noticed that Anime Ltd are very keen on. Now, admittedly, I'm not quite as fond of them as many other people, but they're still nice releases. So let's show off some of the artwork associated with these cards. So we can see Kira Yamato, Atron Zala, Lacus Klein, some of the Gundams fighting each other. Ooh, I honestly can't remember. I think Durandal? No, not Durandal. That was from Gundam Seed Destiny. Can't remember his name, to be honest, but he got an amazing voice. Some underwater combat sequences, and then the comrades, I should say, of Athra and Zala. So those are some pretty nice cards. You also get this poster, which, let's be honest here, the poster to me is more interesting than the actual cards. Oh yeah, this actually looks really nice. I'm actually quite pleased with the look of this poster. I might actually end up hanging it up. Anyway, so that's the first box set. The second box set is quite fascinating here, so let me just move the stuff out of the way. So the second box set here is quite fascinating. So if we take a look at, first of all, the artwork on the box is quite pleasant, but if we take a look at the side, you'll notice that it says SD episodes 1 to 50. You might be saying to yourself, hang on now, this looks like a very slim box. How did they get 50 episodes into this? I believe this is the first time that Anime Ltd have released SD Blu-ray. For those of you wondering what SD Blu-ray is, it's where you release standard definition media through the Blu-ray format, which allows you to put an absolute insane amount of episodes onto a single disc. And this is the original Gundam Seed series. So this is the series that I would have had on my previous DVDs of Gundam Seed. And to be fair, like, this includes the 2 clip show episodes. It's quite a fascinating idea to release an entire series on 2 discs. You see, there's actually 25 episodes on a single disc, which I'm actually curious what that'll look like when you open up the main menu. How do you format the Blu-ray menu so that there's 25 episodes on a disc? I'm not entirely sure, but that is actually a pretty awesome idea for releasing a series like this. So I'm actually quite pleased with this decision to release the original Gundam Seed series in a format like this. I think it's quite a nice touch, and definitely very nice for completionists who want both the HD remaster and the original. Besides that, you also get, I believe these are the Compilation Films, if I'm correct. Let me just check. Yeah, so I'm correct. So yeah, so this box set actually contains the 3 compilation films, which reduces the entire Gundam Seed series into a mere 3 films. Now, if you followed me on my blog, you'll know that I'm not the biggest fan of compilation films, but I do acknowledge that they can be important sometimes, and in particular for Gundam, the original movie trilogy, which compiled the original Mobile Suit Gundam series into 3 films, was a big reason why the Gundam franchise took off like it did. So from a historical perspective, compilation films have been incredibly important to the Gundam franchise. So I can understand why they continue to release compilation films. It can just be a bit frustrating sometimes that it's just the same content but just re-edited. But still, as a completionist, this is a very nice addition, and maybe I'll check it out with some friends sometimes, I'm not entirely sure. In addition, we get some more cards. This is the second card set, as you can see. So I'll just snap this off. As you can see, it's Kira and Athran kind of facing off against each other. Kira... God, I can't even remember what her name was. Here we go, Lacus Klein. Some other characters from Gundam Seed. And of course some Gundams. So, you know, decent looking cards. No poster with this though, so you just get the 1 poster, which is perfectly fine. Now, one of the more interesting aspects of this release is actually this hardcover art book. As you can see, it's actually released in a hardcover format, which is quite unusual. Usually the art books that you get with Anime Ltd properties is paperback, so that's quite nice. And if we take a look at the artwork in here, oh yes, that's what her name was, Calgary, I remember now. It's been so long since I've actually seen Gundam Seed, but there's some very nice looking artwork here, as you can see. The mobile suits, usually, yeah, the characters are usually quite early on in these things, and a lot of promo images. This is quite nice looking. I do quite like this. I do wish that there was, like in these art books though, that there was a bit more about, like, you know, the design, like maybe like some storyboards or some like early sketches of the actual mobile suits and characters. I think that would have been a nice touch, but overall I still think that this is a very nice edition, and I will be popping through this every so often as I rewatch Gundam Seed, just to admire the artwork of the series, because it is a very pleasant looking series. So yeah, having unboxed all of that, just give me a quick sec to tidy up. So overall, this seems like a very nice release for the Gundam Seed series, and I'm very pleased with this collection. That's not even mentioning the variety of extras that are actually contained on these discs, which I'll definitely be interested to examine myself once I start watching this series, which probably won't be for a little bit because there is a variety of other series that I need to catch up on, but I am looking forward to finally seeing the HD remaster of Gundam Seed, considering it is the Gundam series that got me into Gundam, so I'm really looking forward to that. So overall, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. Share your thoughts of this box set, which I think is very nice, but you may disagree, or you may certainly agree. What do you think of Gundam Seed yourself? Do you enjoy it? Do you like it as much? Was it the Gundam series that got you into Gundam? Or do you think that it is lacking originality compared to so many other alternate universe series? What are your thoughts on the popularity of Gundam Seed in Japan? I've actually heard that apparently they're going to be doing a new Gundam Seed film soon, which is quite fascinating to me. So what are your thoughts on that? And of course, if you have anything else to say about Gundam, Gundam Seed, this box set, etc., leave your opinions in the comments below. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and bye bye.